Raider Nation, what's going on? Coming up today here on the Raiders Report, we got some brand new Michael Mayer trade rumors that we need to discuss. Then, all of the Raiders news that happened today that maybe you saw, maybe you didn't. If you follow me on social media, probably did. Also, the silver and black were linked to a free agent. I'm going to talk about it because I can't believe the amount of conversation that has the Raiders right now connected to Alex Cappa. And then at the very end of the show, I sat down with Tom Downey, the Chat Sports team, and I told him, give me your biggest winners and losers from the Combine, and I'll sit down and I'll talk about which ones could impact for the Raiders. Let's first talk about Michael Mayer, and this news literally just dropped, and it's coming in from Vincent Bonsigore, and he said that the Raiders are shopping Michael Mayer. Now, this is an original report that came out on Friday that had Mayer and Zamir White both being said that they were being shopped. I'll say it like this. Do I think Vinny or anybody from The Athletic is a credible source? Yes, at times, and until that there is a legit credible source that comes out and says that the Raiders are shopping Michael Mayer, we got to sit here and go, why the hell are we doing this? Because I'm going to be honest with you, if I was in that Raiders organization and I saw them that they're shopping Mayer, I don't think that it's a really smart thing to do. The only thing that is even kind of popping in my head up right now is that Mayer doesn't want to be a part of this team because I know that Brock Bowers is the tight end one. Mayer, though, is still the tight end two on this roster. He had a little bit of a situation last season. He was away from the team. I don't know what that situation was, but all I'm going to speak about is what I think right now. It doesn't make any sense for the Raiders to trade Mayer because you're only going to get a 5th or a 6th round pick. Now, if you can get a 3rd or a 4th, yeah, but there's not going to be an NFL team out there that's going to do it. On top of that, it saves you only $653K, and you eat basically $2 million. I know that there's plenty of teams interested in Mayer, and quite frankly, the top 2 teams that I would say are the New England Patriots because of the Josh McDaniels connection, and then also the Tennessee Titans because of the Dave Ziegler connection. The other teams that you see up here on screen are just a sense needing tight ends, have some money to spend. You could see them potentially reach out. I know that Mayer is a good tight end. I know that he hasn't got off to the start that a lot of us were hoping for. 2 different regimes, about to be his 3rd. But let's be real here. For the Raiders to want to trade Michael Mayer, that doesn't make any sense. He fits what the offense wants to do, and he's a good young player. The only reason why Michael Mayer is being linked here to trade rumors, in my opinion, is because Mayer doesn't want to be a part of the Las Vegas Raiders. Maybe that's true. Maybe it isn't. I'm not afraid to give you my opinion on this show. And if you're looking for Raiders news every single day, make sure you click that subscribe button. Make sure that your notifications are turned on. If the Raiders end up trading Mayer away, I'm not going to sit up here and be surprised about it. He was a dude that I named in my Raiders trade candidates video about 2.5 weeks ago. And we'll see if it ends up happening. If they move on from him, I'll be on this show breaking it all down. But at this current moment, it hasn't been reported by anybody that I would say is very, very credible. But I also can understand Mayer not want to be a part of this team because Brock Bowers is the tight end one for the entire future. I hope I'm wrong in my opinion on Mayer because I want him to stay. But I don't see why the Raiders would want to move on from Mayer unless Mayer doesn't want to be here. Let's keep it moving here. Let's see some other news that happened today. The Raiders are not going to give DJ Turner his tender for a restricted free agent, which doesn't surprise me at all. The cost is $3.3 million. I think Turner is a good player that I hope that they bring back, and there's still an opportunity that they're going to bring him back this offseason. But bringing him back at $3.3 million doesn't make any sense. Also, they're not going to tender Desmond Ridder. This news came out, I want to say, on Friday or Thursday last week, and I wouldn't anticipate the Raiders to tender any of their restricted rights free agents like Zach Carter, good defensive tackle. I want the Raiders to bring him back, though I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit closer to like $1.02 million for Carter, for, DJ out there as well. Luke Masterson, another linebacker here. Good young player, could be a solid depth guy, but not somebody that I'm willing to give 3.3 to. However, though, the Raiders did re-sign one player today to a little bit of a cheaper contract. Kyu Blu Kelly, I believe it was $1.03 million is the number that I saw. Just a little bit of extra depth, and this is the time of the offseason where you're going to see teams start to do some of this type of stuff. Though, speaking of Kyu Blu Kelly, he was an exclusive rights free agent, and there's a whole bunch of different names out there for all the free agents. If you want to check out the video that I did probably about 2 months ago where I break down unrestricted, all the ERFAs, the restricted rights free agents, and break down exactly what each of them mean and who I would bring back. You can go check out that video. In terms of these other restricted or exclusive rights free agents, I would anticipate Kana'i Mauga. They better flip and bring back Jordan Meredith. Sam Webb, Matthew Butler, I'm good on Charles Snowden. Let's talk about, though, a free agent that the Raiders have been linked to, and it's Alex Cappa. He was released today by the Cincinnati Bengals, and I'm just going to say it like this. I like Tashan Reed. I respect Vic Tafur. But them just saying that Cappa and the Raiders, there are way too many people out there right now on social media. There are way too many people out there right now thinking that the Raiders are interested in Alex Cappa. I'm telling you this right now. This organization is way too smart to think that Cappa is an actual option because Tashan said, another starting caliber guard hits the market. Raiders could use an upgrade. Here's the problem. Cappa isn't an upgrade over almost any offensive lineman that the Raiders had. You can make an argument he was one of the worst starters in the National Football League last season, and he's been horrid over the past 2 seasons. And just because that Reed and Tafur put this opinion out there, that's okay. But I'm also going to say that realistically, nobody should really take what Vic Tafur and Tashan Reed say from a football knowledge standpoint serious because they are just reporters. And they talk about the news that is happening, but you should not take what they're saying as like the Raiders should go out and get Alex Cappa. Quite frankly, Tafur and Reed even putting out the idea that the Raiders should entertain Alex Cappa did all my homework for me. Because if you're seeing somebody say the Raiders should go get Cappa, well, you should put a big old cap on them because they're capping and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. So my question down below is this. Give me a yes, give me a no. Do you want the Raiders to sign Alex Cappa? I think you already know where I'm going to stand on this one. If you are going to say yes, though, at least give me what type of money that you're willing to pay. I'm going to type my end for no. Y'all are about to get hit with the YouTube ad break. Scroll on down and give me your answer. The reasons why I'm typing my end for no is because with how deep the offensive line market is right now, especially in the draft, why the hell would I sign Alex Cappa, even if it's just a $5 million deal? He played in 1,132 snaps last season, 2 penalties against, 8 sacks, 51 pressures. Do you know how difficult it is to give up 51 pressures in a single season? And then the PFF grades, they match that. 50.5 overall, a 39.7 pass blocking grade, and then that run blocking grade as you see down below. I don't know if there has been a worse starting offensive guard in the National Football League than Alex Cappa over the past 2 seasons. And then on top of that, I know that he's got a connection with John Spytek. I know Vic Tafur said that John Spytek and Cappa have a relationship from their time at Tampa Bay. I don't care. If you're a Raiders organization and you look at Alex Cappa as an upgrade to your offensive line, well, then we just need a better offensive line. Doesn't make any sense, and people got to stop talking about it. This Raiders organization is too smart to bring in Cappa. Let's go to the next story coming up here on the show, and it's going to be some NFL Combine winners and losers. And I wanted to do this style simply because I didn't go to Indy, right? But we sent an entire team at Chat Sports down to Indy. And our top guy, who I think is one of the best in the biz, Tom Downey, NFL draft expert, I said, give me your winners and losers from day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4. Tom's not a big winners and losers guy for quarterbacks because he doesn't think that a quarterback can be a winner or a loser at the Combine, so you're not going to see any of those names, which, quite frankly, I kind of respect that from Tom at times when he says that type of stuff to me. But I wanted to give you an inside look at what our team from Indy had on some winners and losers from the Combine. Before I get into that, though, you know, oh, man, oh, I love PrizePicks. Easy, exciting, daily fantasy sports, made easy. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Just make sure that you use code CLNS because PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. Run your game. And if you're like, Mitch, can I get my money quick? Yeah, you can get your money quick. It's actually in 15 minutes. Also, they do stuff on Tuesdays, like Taco Tuesdays for different deals. So if you plan on watching the live show with me tomorrow, well, hey, guess what? They're also going to have some awesome deals. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. If you don't know where that link is, it's down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. Appreciate PrizePicks for rocking with the Raiders Report. So all these combine winners or losers are from Tom Downey. You can go follow him on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. The Chat Sports team just wanted to take all their notes, put together a nice little list for you. I'll also say, if you want to see a more in-depth video on every single one of these prospects, go subscribe to Chat Sports on YouTube. I put all 3 of the videos that I'm about to mention also in the description of today's show if you want to hear more in depth of why they are a winner and why they are a loser. Let's first go to NFL Combine Day 1 winners. Really excited about Landon Jackson. I wanted to see him have a really good test day. Jihad Campbell's kind of been one of my guys, I would say. I didn't anticipate that he would test as well as he did. But if I was in Jihad Campbell's camp, I'd almost make an argument that I would try to go play edge. That's how athletically gifted that kid is. I will say with James Pierce, the reports out right now are, I would say, he is the number 1 player that has the most character concerns. So take that with a grain of salt. More day 1 winners here. Darius Alexander, defensive tackle from Toledo. I had him in a mock draft earlier this offseason. Tyleik Williams, anytime there's an Ohio State player, you got to look because of the Chip Kelly connection. More day 1 winners here. Baron Sorrell, edge from Texas. Maybe do a little bit more research on him. Kane Madrano, UCLA linebacker. I can remember one of our OG Raiders Report watchers was like, Mitch, you got to look up Kane. So sounds like he had a pretty good day. And I'll also say I'm going to pay a little bit more closer attention to some of these winners out there. Some of the day 1 losers, Abdul Carter, Tom threw on there. Mike Green, which I was kind of surprised to see him. Mason Graham, and I think when you see a lot of these names, Mason Graham's still going to be a top 10 pick. Mike Green's still going to be a round 1 pick. Abdul Carter's still going to be a top 5 pick. But sometimes if you're a loser, it's because your expectations are really, really high. If you want to check out this video of all the day 1 winners and losers in a little bit longer of fashion, more breakdown, and you like Chat Sports, this video down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. Let's go to some day 2 winners and losers now. And I don't know if there was a bigger winner, man, than Nick Emawari. And this is a freak of an athlete. And I can remember last week I said, if there's a player that reminds me of Cam Chancellor that the Raiders could draft, it's Emawari, who is a safety from South Carolina that was just unbelievable. And I'll even throw this out there. I almost wonder if they would try to make him a linebacker safety hybrid because what he can do is unbelievable. John A. Barron, his stock skyrocketed. There's some people that think that he might be the number 1 corner in this year's draft. Maxwell Harrison showed that he's a phenomenal athlete. Billy Bowman, y'all know that I like him a lot. Malachi Starks, the number 1 safety. Jacob Parrish, also cornerback from Kansas State. Some more day 2 winners here that we got to take a look at. Mason Taylor, tight end from LSU. Not going to lie, I was kind of rooting for that kid. He's got a lot of other stuff going on in his life right now. Day 2 loser, Gunnar Helm. A little bit disappointed in the performance that I saw from him. On top of that, Zy Alexander. There's been a lot of really good cornerbacks that tested based on athletic traits. Zy Alexander was not one of those players. If you want to check out the 12 winners and 4 losers from day 2 of the Combine at Chat Sports, you already know this video down below. Let's go to day 3 now. And I'll tell you what, Matthew Golden, I had a text message over the weekend that said Matthew Golden might be the 2nd wide receiver taken that's not named Travis Hunter, which is huge to me because I think everybody thinks it's going to be T-Mac. Matthew Golden has solidified himself as being a round 1 pick. Omarion Hampton had himself a hell of a day. Quidshawn Junkins had himself a hell of a day. Jalen Newell, Jaden Higgins, you guys have heard me talk about those guys a lot. But I'll tell you what, I think a lot of people thought that the first running back from Ohio State off the board was going to be Trevion Henderson. Quinshon Judkins is at least making a case for saying, hey, man, what about me? More day 3 winners here. Trey Harris, very excited for the performance that he had. I was expecting a lot, and he delivered for an NFL team out there. And I know, like, the Raiders have been looking at a DK Metcalf. If you don't have the ability to go out and trade for DK, you might be able to draft a Trey Harris in round 3, who... It's got a lot of very interesting DK Metcalf type of traits. What about some day 3 losers? And one of the weirdest combines I think I've ever seen was Tez Johnson, wide receiver from Oregon. And I say that because he ran a 4.51, but when you look at a lot of his other testing, he proved that he was really fast. And maybe this is just one of these football fast guys. Isaiah Bond said he was going to run a 4.241. 4.41 still fast, but when you say you're going to run a 4.2, let's be honest with ourselves. And the Caleb Johnson, I got to admit, did take a little bit of a step back. I thought he would be no doubt a top 5 running back taken after the way that a lot of these other running backs perform, especially a dude like Judkins. Caleb Johnson might fall down the board a little bit. If you want to check out, though, the winners and losers from day 3, you already know where you can find them, which means one more day here, and this was the big guys in the trenches on the offensive side of the football. And Armin Membau, the offensive tackle from Missouri, running what he did, it might have been one of the loudest combine runs I've ever watched it. And I'm not, like, it almost brought me to tears, and I say that because you could tell how hard that guy was running. And I want a player that puts it all out there, and our man, he had the best combine I've seen from an offensive lineman. Jonah Sevenia, another really good combine there from an Arizona kid who I've taken in a few mock drafts. Tate Rattledge really helped out his draft stock a lot. Logan Brown, offensive tackle from Kansas, also very impressed by him. Some day 4 losers. The only reason why Will Campbell is on this list as a loser because he still tested very well. But when you are looking at that top percentile, potential top 10 pick, he has short arms. Tom put in his notes, guy has, quote, T-Rex arms. And usually when you got T-Rex arms, a lot of teams don't think that you could play tackle. I still would like to see Will Campbell play tackle, but there are teams that might put him as a guard. Tyler Booker, really, really physical football player, but did not test well. Somebody who I thought could be a top 25 prospect might now be available to the Raiders by pick number 40. Now, reminder, my video tomorrow that I'm going to be dropping, I've been getting asked a lot, Mitch, can you do a new mock draft? I got a brand new mock draft. It's going to be dropping tomorrow after the NFL Combine. Teaser, I make a trade at pick 6. Do I go up? Do I go back? Tune in tomorrow and find out.